All right, let's see how that looks. Tubular, so it's me right there. Okay. Pop. So this one. Okay. A little OC. I don't have OCD. So was U. Okay, so there's a problem that says U plus 8 minus 9 in the homework. Yes?
You can see about half the whiteboard on the camera.
Yeah, anybody in the front row? There we go. I just wanted that section at least because then I could work this way. If he takes a union break, somebody sees it, just look at him. They stop every now and then. Got a good union. The question was, is this different if I put this out here? Right? So is that different from this? Is that the question?
Yes, minus 9.
Oh, okay. So, couple things. Is this different from this? Is this your question?
Yes.
Okay, who can tell me? Are those two things different?
Yes.
Okay, there you go. I knew what you meant. I saw you're like,
I was like,
I'm like, be careful, I didn't ask
very
them.
different.
They're not the same. Is everybody cool? What's the operation between U plus 8 and 9 here? And what's the operation between U plus 8 and 9 there?
Multiplication.
Yeah, and then there's a negative out front. I like it. I love it. Is that cool? So if you did want to put that out front, you would have to do it like this, believe it or not. What's understood to be in front of this? Positive sign. See, that's why negative sign and subtract are the same. Positive sign and add are the same. We just don't think of it that way because the negative sign shows up more often. So there's a hidden plus sign. I don't need it there because it doesn't do shit if I distribute it, right? In fact, does this even need to be here for real, these parentheses? No. They just want to make sure you know that doesn't change anything because there's nothing here. In fact, what's understood to be here really? A 1. Yeah, there's one of these. So I don't need a parenthesis. If there were 2 of these, then I would have to distribute because then I got 2 of everything inside. Kick ass. So really all you got to do in this problem is what? You kind of at least mentally or show yourself that those go away. I don't need those.
Right.
And then what's your like terms?
8, 9.
Yeah. Are these the same sign?
No.
So the shortcut for adding, subtracting anything is if the signs are different, subtract and put the bigger one sign back on. What's 8? What's 9 minus 8?
Minus
And then what's 9 minus 8?
1.
9 minus 8. 1. Which one's bigger? Negative. So it's negative 1. Right? And there's a U up there. Or you guys should know 8 minus 9 is negative 1. That's cool too. But if you have any trouble with doing something like that, they're different signs. You subtract and then put the sign of the bigger one on. If they're the same sign, you add and put the sign back on. So like one that gets people a lot is what's negative 11 minus 7? It's not negative 4.
Negative 18.
Yeah, why? Because if I owe you $11 and I owe you 7,
You're still out.
I can't cancel my debt out. Unfortunately, I wish it could. Man. That would have been.
That would be so much easier.
This would be so great, but the bank for some reason doesn't go for this shit. They're like, no, man. So this is why having the rule 2 negatives kill each other isn't enough, because they don't kill each other here, do they? They only kill each other if you are multiplying. So this is negative 18. So the rule, if you want to use a very dry math rule, same sign, add. 11 and 7 is 18, put the sign back on. It's like adding debt, right? Debts unfortunately accumulate. You guys, some of you are living that. Some of us are working through that, right? I think it was a few years ago I finally paid off my student loans. Graduated with $30,000 in student loan, and now they're going to forgive everybody's loans. What do I get? Nothing. Beautiful life experience, right? Yeah, sorry. Anyway, yeah. Is that cool with everybody? I over-answered your question, but there's a lot of good stuff in there. All right, magic. Anything else from homework stuff?
Is there a faster way to find the prime factorization than making that little tree?
Oh, sort of. I mean, so if I said find the prime factors of like 90.
Yeah.
So as long as you don't go for like the small ones. This is 9 times 10 because then you can work on each branch, right? I mean, if you go 2, 3, 3, that's where it kind of takes forever. I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm just saying that's the only way to really make it quicker, is to break it into bigger pieces. Because then each piece breaks. Instead of doing 2 times big ass piece, the 2 comes, big ass piece comes 2 times big ass piece, and you feel like you're not getting on. Okay. That's the only thing you can really do, right? And of course here it would be. And this is what I call the DNA. This is the DNA of 90. Because if I multiply 3, 3, 2, 5, I can only get 9. Right? If you put this, and this together, you get Jeff, the DNA. Right? You guys with me? All right. Okay. Anything else from homework stuff? I mean, you got to learn that I live off of questions. And anything that you've been told that doesn't make sense, that I do it this way because I was told to do it this way, but I don't know why. Now's the time to do it because I love that shit. All right? Math makes sense. If it doesn't, there's something you're not looking at correctly. And you don't even know the right way to look at it a lot of times. So that's why I'm here. Okay. Do you have a question?
It's been like 5 years since I took math. It's what in God's name is prime factorization again?
Oh, okay. What's prime mean?
Indivisible by a whole number, right?
Yeah, it can only be divided by 1 in itself.
Yeah.
So that's basically what you're saying. You can't divide it by some other whole number besides 1. So everybody cool with that? Prime, that's what prime means. So what's the other kind of number? Composite, yeah, composite. Composite is composed of more than just 1 in itself. Like 8 is composite because it's 8 times 1, but it's also 2 times 4. Is that cool?
Yeah.
So I want to take a number. Prime factorization means take a number and break it all the way down so that all that's left are things you can't break down any further. So if I just say 9 times 10, I can't stop because 9's got parts and 10's got parts. But now that I've gotten here, I can't break them down any further besides 1 times. And who gives a shit about 1 times, right? Poor little 1. It's just always there, right?
And so is that the final
This is the prime factorization of 90.
Right, so it's not 3, 3, 2, 5. It's 3 times
If
3
they
times
said
3.
list of factors, then
Okay.
technically, but I wouldn't give a shit if you were like this, because
Okay.
this is the right idea.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
what
that'd be
matters.
the correct full answer,
Yeah.
full stop done.
That's the kind of thing like online homework. Somebody would put this and they're supposed to have commas and it says it's wrong, and that's the kind of shit, right? I don't like online homework. Because it's not good enough to know, thankfully. If it knows enough, it's Skynet, we're all dead. Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
If you don't know what Skynet is, I can live with that. It's okay. Terminator, there you go. Not the recent ones. Yes?
US measurement, how to convert.
Oh, that'll be part of what we talk about later, yeah. So we're gonna get into some conversion stuff. Oh, shit. Yeah. And you know how many other countries on the face of the earth use our system of measurement, not metric?
Like 1.
No, we're the only ones. There were 3 of us, and then one of them switched, and the other one is at least in the process. If not, I haven't checked it in a few months. We might be the only ones left in the earth that uses feet. And do you know where feet came from? Whose foot?
The king's foot.
King of England's foot. Didn't we have a whole Revolutionary War? Why the shit are we still using stuff that's based off the King of England's foot? Sorry. And you guys know about the Mars thing that crashed into Mars?
No.
Oh, this is like 10 years ago now, I think. But there's a Mars polar, I think, was it the polar one or the climate observer? I can't remember. But there was 2 groups, one in the U.S. and one in France, I think, working together. And of course, the U.S. didn't use metric for part of its stuff. So they were like, we're coming up on the poosh, and it blew up. Like, why did we? What? I thought we were like 300 meters away, and they're like, oh, meters. But of course, scientists should know better. But somewhere somebody used the wrong system. It's crazy. All right, sorry. I can't go off on anything. Yes.
I kind of what is it, like a quick thing on like long division, because I kind of forgot about it. It's been a while since. Yeah.
And this is going to become big later this semester, believe it or not. But so if I wanted to divide 1342 divided by 7, right? You can't use calculator. Yeah. So one thing, real quick, how would you do 3 divided by 5? if you had to do it by hand.
Make it equal 100.
I like it. But if I'm going to force you to do long division. But what I always get is this. What's wrong with this?
It's not divided, it's not even.
They're in the wrong place, right? I think I'm getting so much more of this from here. And I think it's because your brain kind of goes, you can't fit 5 into 3. But then you got to say your brain, we're better than that brain. This number's going to be less than 1, dude, so it's all right. All right. So this is not big. I just want to make sure that's outside, that's inside. Maybe some of you guys, has anybody set up their division differently? Because sometimes I have students from Russia, some other countries, and they actually do their division, doesn't look like this. Do you do your division a different way? Same way, okay. So some countries set it up differently. You get to the same answer, but it is kind of neat. And I have to have them remind me every time because I forget.
So the denominator is always on the outside of the box?
Yes,
Okay.
I like it. Doesn't matter who's bigger or smaller. It's just by definition of what this means. And I know this number is going to be bigger than 1. So it makes sense the smaller one's on the outside because it's going to have a lot of it fits into this dude, right? Okay.
What if it was written out like straight? If it was
Oh.
like 3 divided by 5? Like,
So this is the same way to say this.
right, and then so the one on the right is going to be the one.
Yes, because this is this divided by
Okay.
this. I love it. Kick ass. So how do I set this up?
So the 7 on the right.
All right. You're like, oh, come on, man.
Yeah.
We got a calculator. Did you know they invented calculators, Jeff?
I know it ends in a 6.
So, I mean, it's good to, yeah, we developed calculators, great. But I don't want this little inanimate piece of nothing to know shit better than me. I want it to be able to do stuff for me when I don't really need to, but I want to know this shit. So, how does this bring us?
7 goes on the 13 ones.
And then you change the sign, right?
Yes, drop down to 4.
63.
12,
And you keep going. So I would, on this kind of problem, I would definitely tell you where to round to, right? So if I said round to the 10th place, how many more times do I have to go? 2. I love it. You can't. So here's 7, right? Is that cool? I did that for us. Well, I have to go one more place because if I want to round here, I got to know what the next one is, of course, right? So if I say round to the tenths, you actually have to calculate it to the hundreds so you can see what to do with the 7. 7 goes into 10. Now I can round this, 191.7. Sweet. So that's rounded to the 10th place. You guys kind of with me there? Everybody knows how to round. Yes. Okay. Here's the. All right. Let me do one that's not freaking. I'll do one that is freaking. I think move more for this one.
While you're at the rounding, can you do a whole nother division problem?
Huh?
While you're at the rounding, can you do a whole nother division problem?
All right. Let's do the division problem first. What you got, Jeff? All right. Yes.
31. 11.
No. 4.
3.
Yeah, 3.
Yeah, because 4 would be more than 120, right?
Yeah.
So it's got to be 3.
Minus 93.
Good. Good. And what do you always want to check? What would be bad to get here right now? Does anyone understand that question? No. Well, a negative would be
So
bad.
larger than 31.
Bigger than 31, which means this was not enough, right? So you remember that? I mean, yeah, if I would put 2 here, it would have been 55. 55. All right. So bring down the 8.
8.
Yeah, this is awesome. I wish I could say I did this on purpose, but actually I didn't. 8, right? And done. Yay. I did. Shit. I can't take credit for that. It just happened. So everybody with that? There's no remainder. No big R, by the way, anymore nowadays. No big ass R. Sorry. You know, big ass R. Remember the big ass R? No?
Yeah, I remember.
I love some of you guys are looking at me like, say something that makes sense. Big ass R instead of decimals.
R and then what it was left on the bottom would be
What if I would have said to write this as a fractional form?
It's 191 and 10/7.
Yeah, where was it? Where did we leave off? It was here.
Oh.
So it would have been 191 and 5/7. Because we would have gotten there.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Jeff,
Maybe.
in this class, we're not gonna do remainders.
No, we're past that.
We're just rounding.
We're either rounding or maybe even writing it as a fraction. Yes. If I say rounded decimal and you give me this, it's no good.
So how did you get 5/7 there?
All right, so this one was kind of rough because I had to go back to where we started getting decimals. We started getting decimals right after this step here, right? So this will be, if I didn't want to get decimals, I wanted to get a fractional answer. This is 191 and 5/7. Now, why is that? Real quick. This is kind of cool. What's 5 times 191? Let's do that real quick. 5 times 190, not 5. Sorry, I got 5 in the brain. 7 times 191. Somebody see what I'm doing? Because 7 times 191 should be close to this. In fact, you can tell me exactly how far off we're going to be.
5/7.
5 off out of 7. All right. 191 times 7. 7, 3. How far off from 1342 is that? 5. And watch. Yes.
Do you do that before it becomes a decimal, like before the decimal place?
Yes. The minute you get to the end, you don't add zeros. If I want you to give it as a fraction, you just put that over that. So now watch this. Is 191 the right answer to this? No. Because when I multiply, I only get this. Statement. All right, everybody's looking at me at least. Some of you guys look like you're... What's happening? Now watch this. What's 7 times 5/7? That's the rest of it, right? 7 times 5/7 is? No, probably. What happens to 7s? Cancel. 5. That's the leftover 5 you need to get it to be 1342. That's why it's and 5/7. Because is that a full 7 off from what it's supposed to be? No, it's 5/7 off from what it's supposed to be. Yes.
So then the 1,342 over 7, could you get, I don't suppose you could get to that 191 through multiplication somehow. It just has to be division.
Yeah, you can't get the number you would need to multiply unless you do the division.
Right.
Yeah,
Okay.
you can sort of guess and check, but this is not
No.
guess and check class. So I don't want to see no guess and check. That's shit. I like. I'm not saying guess and check is never good. I'm just saying not in here. We got procedures we got to understand. Okay, I like it. Is everybody decent with that? I mean, I'm living off of questions. All this stuff is in the first chapter, so I'm cool with doing this stuff. Somebody wanted more rounding examples, so like. All right. Can you round that to the hundreds place?
1498.
Oh, wait a minute. Hundreds. Hundreds, right? Not hundredths. What number's in the hundreds place?
4.
What number's in the hundredths place?
2.
Beautiful. You guys see with? So if you got a lift, it's after the decimal. If you don't, it's before.
I thought that the 7 would be in the hundredths and the 2 would be in the thousandths.
No, you're right. I'm looking at it sideways. Tenths, hundredths. So the 7. Yeah. This is in the what place? Thousands. I was looking at it. Can't quite. Okay. So this is tenths. And why does it work like that? Why does it work like that? What place is this?
Thousands.
The next place is the 1,000 divided by 10. Hundreds. Next place is 100 divided by 10. Tens. 10 divided by 10. 1 divided by 10. Tenths. Divide by another 10. Hundredths. Yeah, I like it. That's all it is. Our number system is based on 10. So if I go that way, it multiplies. If we go that way, it divides. That's it. Oh, what's up?
Is this calculus?
No, this is math 9. Sorry. All right, sorry. So can you round this to the hundreds place? Yes. Because what are the two possible options? It's either 1400 or 1500. So it's 15 because the next number is. Is everybody with me? Yes.
If that 9 was a 5, it would go back up to the 1500, right?
Yeah, if this is a 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, I'm going to round this up. If it's 4, 3, 2, 1, 0, I'm going to keep it at 4. It's just what's closer. That really is all rounding is. It's which one of those extremes is closer to what it is.
Can you say 17,000?
What? What's happening?
No, I was just
For the-
saying,
for the hundreds.
for the, behind the decimal.
Oh, okay, so let's do that next. So if I round it to the hundredths place. Yeah. Hundredths place. What number's in the hundredths place? 7. 7 is. Next to that is a 2, so what would the answer be? 1498.17. You guys, is everybody all right? Can't read your expressions. Yes?
So if you're rounding up for the 17, so if you're rounding up, if that 2 was an 8, you go one number up, but if you're rounding down, it just stays the same number.
Yes, because the only options, if you say what's 17, 17 is close to 16 or 18. Depends on what the next is. At 0.9, then it's 18. If it's 0.2, it's closer to 17. All right, so 17 is either closer to 17 or 18. And it all depends on what that next, the decimal place would be.
Okay.
Maybe. That's why at the gas station it's 3.69 and 9/10. You know, so just say 370. I would respect you guys more. This couch is on sale for $14.99.99. It's $1,500. But it's psychological, so, and they know that. I'm sorry.
Another question.
Yes.
If 0.172 or 0.175.
Okay, let's just do this. Thousandths place. What's in the thousandths? I gotta make sure I get my lisp in there.
2.
2. So how would I keep it at a 2 or take it to a 3?
Take it to 3.
Oh,
Why?
no, because 9.
Because 9. So I would have to take this to a 3. So it'd be 1498.173. Is that cool? Yeah? Okay. I heard no. Yes.
And then for the 10,000th place, the 9 would become a 10.
Oh, this is the neat one. This is the one, I set it up for this. It's like 10,000ths place. 10 hundred thousandths, 10,000ths. Now here's where it gets interesting. I want you to start looking at it like this. It's either 29 or it goes up to 30. Because if you focus too much on 9, 9 is either stays at 9 or goes up to 10. And that doesn't make any sense, right? So it's either 29 or it goes up to 30. And in this case, it's got to go up to 30. So this would be 1498.1730. Do you really need the O? Why do I put it there? Just because it said 10,000ths place, right? Just so I show that I actually thought about the 10,000ths place. Is that cool? Now, if you didn't put the O, I actually wouldn't take points out because you technically would be right. But I'm just saying, it's good to put it in. Okay, maybe. It's like if you told me that, how much does that cost? $12.9. $12.90? $12.90? Oh yeah. Zero is not shot. All right. Decimal, yeah. Oh, that's so freaky. These are like little creatures. All right. Anything else from homework? I want to get to that warm-up sheet because I'm pretty sure it's going to generate questions. Yes.
I remember when they switched it from GEMDOS to PEMDOS, and I couldn't remember if like squares and like cubes were computed
That's
in that
exponents.
G.
Exponents.
Yeah, exponents was in the G.
G was just because, all right, so I don't know if you guys realize, when you said GEMDOS, I know what you're talking about, it sounds like a character from Lord of the Rings, right? GEMDOS. I couldn't find Gandalf, so I need you. Sorry. GEMDOS the geek. But the G instead of the P, P is parentheses. G is just, people going, it could be parentheses, brackets, it could be these symbols, right? Right? But they all basically mean the same thing as parentheses. We just do it so it's easier to tell what goes with what in a big ass problem, right?
Yeah.
So that's all it is. It doesn't actually change where the exponents happen. They still are in the E in the next step. So if I had a problem like this, yeah, I like it.
Yeah, practice. And then practice.
Yeah, you guys realize what you do is you always go to the one that's the most inside, right? So what's the first level inside? This.
-2.
This is the first level inside.
Yeah, practice.
And then what's inside that?
Yeah,
Negative -2.
So what's the piece of this? I'm sorry, I'm saying first level, second level. What's the very last thing I'm going to do in this whole problem?
Multiply 7?
No.
No.
That's the second
Wait.
last.
The-
I like what you, subtraction is the last thing. Is it going to be 7?
No.
I don't freaking know. This is 4 minus who knows yet.
Yeah.
So I appreciate what you mean. I'm going to do subtraction last, but who knows it's going to still be 7 after all the shit's going to happen to it. So how do I know I'm going to do that last? Because what's at the end of PEMDAS or GEMDAS? Yeah, addition, subtraction. That's so any subtraction I'm going to do last. Why am I going to do that one? Why am I going to do that one first? Because
It's the inner
yeah,
most.
that promotes it to first place, right? How we all doing? You all right?
I got that. That's good.
So then, so this would be 4. Now again, I get a lot of people that just immediately say -3 here. Good, it's wrong. 4 minus. You identify what's last and you leave that the hell alone. You just kind of like let it come for the ride. 4 minus 7 times, what happens in here?
4.
4 times 2 is
8
plus 3.
11.
Is that all right?
Yeah.
Let me just do it in case anybody's not speaking up. 3 plus 2 times 4. I can't add before I multiply because it's PEMDAS. So I get 3 plus 8. I'm still working in here. Times 11.
77.
Good. 4 minus 77.
Negative 73.
Beautiful. Because you do 77 minus 4. 73. Put the sign of the bigger one back on. If I have $4 and I owe you 77, I can give you all my money and I still owe you 73. That's
Deadass?
another way to look at it. Huh?
Dead ask, you got your wallet?
If.
Oh,
the
yeah,
key
okay.
word.
I missed the
Very
got it.
first word.
Okay. Got it.
I'm a teacher, I gotta protect the money. I can't let some student get me trapped in something else. Okay, yes.
You want to do all the steps or read like skip the first 2? Just go straight to 11.
You gotta be careful how much you skip.
Okay.
But you didn't have to show me, because like I just did, I kinda got the 11 in here.
Yeah.
But I have people that do one step and then the answer shows up. I'm like, that's in your calculator, get out of here. So in these kind of problems, I got to test. In fact, just to let you know, on at least a couple tests, there's going to be a part 1, no calculator allowed, part 2, where you can use a calculator. Oh shit. So obviously I would put this kind of problem on the part 1 with no calculator. So then you almost have to show enough. And then I can be pretty sure what you didn't show me happened in your head because I know you don't have a calculator. All right. Okay, let's get back to the warm-up sheet so we can get that done. Let's see if I can do this without having to get somebody to sign consent to be in my video. Okay, there we go. Poor little dude.
Sorry, Jeff, I don't see how that's
Which part? Sorry. Totally. 4. What's 4 minus 4? 0. So what's 4 minus 5? Negatives. Oh, wait, what's happening? On this level, do you subtract or do you multiply first? Is that where the problem is happening? Do you subtract first or do you multiply? Multiply. So 7 times 11 is 77.
Is it a negative 7?
It's 4 minus 77. Yes.
Still no.
That's before the 11.
Is that a negative?
Look, watch. No. What's 7 times 11? 77. And then what's in front of that? 4 minus. 4 minus 77. Of course.
But it looks like the answer is negative 73.
It is.
Yes.
Because even if you multiply by -7, it's still -77 plus 4, which is still
So,
negative
okay,
77.
let me make sure I understand. Let me make sure I understand. So we're good to here, right? We're good to there, right? All right, and then you multiply next. Is that step okay? Because you could either look at it as -7 times 11 is -77, and there's a 4 in front. Is that okay? Yeah. Okay, maybe. And money is probably the easiest way to think about it. Like I just said, I have $4. I owe somebody 77. I'm going to still owe them 73 after I give them all my money. And please don't break my thumbs. Okay.
As well.
Yes.
If I don't know if it makes it easier for anybody, but another way you could look at it is 4 plus -77. It's just like an extra step, but
Yeah.
it makes it simpler.
Sometimes it does. On these problems, if it does somehow, great. But I personally don't see how it would help. But like a problem like this, like the one we had earlier, as I stabbed myself, -11 minus 8. You can write that as -11 plus -8. And then it really is like adding debts. So mathematically, these are the same because what's positive times negative? Negative. So math don't give a shit which way we write it, right? So whichever way makes more sense. All right. Stabbing myself. All right, guys. So everybody has this. Anybody need this still? Oh shit. Let me show you what it is I'm talking about. The warm-up sheet from last time. Aw. Probably gotta turn it on, Jeff. It's amazing how that helps. Okay. All right, this guy here. Yes, yes. So the other side you can do now with the notes when we go over it together. So this first one, you just take this form, and there's a whole lot of variables in this sucker, but I tell you what everything is. So wherever I see an A, I could put a -3. Now, this is the wrong way to write this, to be honest. I put an A -3, so does anybody see what's kind of wrong about that?
We need parentheses. You need the parentheses.
Yeah, I'm not squaring 3, I'm squaring the whole A, so I gotta square whatever A is. Minus, what's Y? 5 times Z
-2.
plus A. I like it. So see, you definitely want to put parentheses around in general when you substitute numbers so you preserve the operations that are happening. Okay, maybe